Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. It is good to have you. I am your purveyor and host of all things dorky within the scope of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. I am Grumm. Hi. Hope you guys are doing good, doing great, doing wonderful. It is the beginning of the Grummas season. That's right. If you're listening to this, you know what the Grummas season's all about. It is a annual celebration of community, friendship, and not baggage with the holiday season. It's something I've done for 5 years now. This is the 5th year. Just, getting together with the community that I've built through my content, like you listening to my Dork Side episodes, or if you watch my streams, you watch my streams. And, yeah, it's just that. We're day 6 as you hear this on the live feed, on the free on your regular stuff. If you're listening to this on Patreon though, you're getting this a little bit before. That's why I said it's early. But hey, you're getting it on the Patreon. Awesome, good for you. Thank you for listening and being a patron here. I appreciate that. If you're listening to this and you are a subscriber to me on Twitch, cancel your subscription. Cancel it right now. Go to your Twitch, cancel it, because your money that's going to me, half of it that you're giving Twitch, so you give me the half of it that I get, it's going to just go all in their pocket soon, because I'm offboarding. So do the right thing and unsubscribe from me on Twitch. And if you want to throw it towards Patreon, throw it towards Patreon. I'll still be doing the sub rumble. That's right. If you are a supporter of mine, financially, $5 a month via Patreon, go through Patreon. It's better for you. If you want to do Twitch, you can, but there's not really you get much better. You get a lot more bang for your buck on Patreon. Go to support.grumm.tv. I do a yearly sub rumbles on my Twitch, twitch.tv/tgrumm. That's GRUMM, every December 22nd, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing the sub rumbles. You can see them on my YouTube, my past ones on YouTube. If you go to tgrumm on YouTube, you can find them there along with some other stuff. And that's enough self-plugging for now. I can do all that in the middle of the show and at the end. This week, we've got a start of a run of good episodes. A lot of fun with these next 4, 5, 6 episodes. We're starting with the boys from the Tyler I Am community, X and Kneezus. This was a lot of fun. We were talking about the Spirit Squad. And if you don't know, I'll give you just a heads up. It's male cheerleaders that are booed because they're male cheerleaders. This is like 2006, yeah. Yeah, obviously. It's a lot of fun. We don't talk too much about the Spirit Squad after a certain point. We just ended up talking about Shawn Michaels being a dirty man and Sunny being a problem of a woman for Mr. Shawn Michaels and Chris Candido and other people in general, and herself. But look, fun episode this week. X, Kneezus, myself, we're talking the Spirit Squad, and we're going to do it right now here on the Dork Side of the Ring podcast. I work in a cemetery, right? So, like, people will bring the balloons. I'm like, they don't care. Like, they're dead. Like, I understand that this is for you more than them, but, like, they don't need their full name with their confirmation name all in balloons. You don't need 42 balloons. Like,
hey, balloons to a funeral is wild. Like, that's just I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
Look, I've seen a lot of shit. I think I've told this in the cord. The snow bunny flower arrangement.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, the silence there really silence really there settled that you guys have not heard this. So there's a guy who passed away, and I can only assume that he was some sort of ladies' man, specifically those of the night, perhaps. And we hear this podcast is also pro-sex work, as long as it's consensual.
100%.
The man had passed away, and there was several flower arrangements by respectable women who, attended, and they all were together, grieving together. And I'm like, oh, they must be friends or something like that. And I saw they all had their own flower arrangement. I'm like, this is weird. Because people don't bring their own flower arrangement. The funeral home brings all of them. And I guess that they had it, and they brought it, and there was one, Snow Bunny was one. There was other it became very obvious that these were nicknames that he had given them. There was maybe 4 or 5 of them, but the one that always jumps out to me is Snow Bunny. And I'm just yeah, she was hella white, but also I don't understand, I want to know, I wish the man was alive so I can get the logic on the other 3. I don't remember what they are, but I was like, okay, Snow Bunny makes sense. She's white. This is okay, but these other 3s, can I get some context to these names? we called KD the Slim Reaper because Grim Reaper, he's a killer and he's also vastly skinny, so that makes sense. We like context to our nicknames.
Of course.
Right.
And then he wanted the fucking servant. Fucking dare you. How fucking dare you.
I'll never forgive him for that shit.
It's indefensible. There's no correlation between KD and servant unless he's literally serving you buckets. There is no.
But that wasn't even the reason. That wasn't even the reason.
Wasn't it at all.
He's I just like serving. I like serving the greater purpose of the team. It's boo.
No, you're not.
Just say you like Durantula. We'll accept that you like the Durantula, that it's grown on you. Instead of, if you don't want to be the Grim Reaper, Slim Reaper, I'm self-conscious about my body type, which is fine. But Durantula was right there, and that one's also pretty cool because same idea. You're long like a spider, and you're deadly, and you're very hard to kill. Sure, we can go with that. But the servant.
Just sickening.
There's nothing there.
There's no athlete has ever given themselves a good nickname, except Shaq.
In fact, I'll go along and say no one in general in the human population has ever given themselves in the history of mankind a good nickname. A good nickname is given to you. Yeah. We know this. Right. That is tried and true. You give your own self a nickname. First off, just tell me that you don't have friends. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for Shaq, it was he's actually just funny as hell, so it kind of fit. He'd give himself his own nickname, but
absolutely.
Yeah, but no. Anybody else? No, absolutely not.
And we all know there is only one Shaq. You are not Shaq. You should not be giving yourself your own nickname.
Right.
Yeah. No. And even that, all he did is the same thing I do, which is just force your name into everything you can. He had the great Aristotle, that, the big Aristotle, that one. Outside of that, they've all just been the Shaq this, the Shaq Rock, everything else has been given to him. Diesel, Shaq obviously was given to him, but yeah, we're back here. We're here on the dork side, not even back on the dork side. We're on the dork side of the ring. I am here with my great guest. You've been hearing him just cut up a rug, just having a good time. I'll say it, a good time. My pals from the CPF, Tyler I Am Discord. We got my guys Kneezus and X here. Kneezus, X, how you guys doing?
How you doing, bro? Doing well, chilling, ready to rock.
What's on, Grumm?
What up, X?
How you doing, Grumm?
I'm doing.
I'm
you
good,
know what?
man.
I'm good. I'm good as well. I'm good. We're having a good one. I'm glad we got this one going. I just dropped some stuff. It's fine. But I took a month off from recording, and I was like, oh boy, I hope I remember how to hit the button and just talk. But we got a good one today. First, we do our introductions, everything. We go alphabetical order. We're going to go here with Kneezus first. Kneezus, tell the people a little bit about yourself, where they can find you on the socials, if you want to be found, things that are close to your heart, stuff like that, not a Tinder profile, but, a dork side profile.
Yeah. Kneezus, you can find me at Mr. Jordan Brewer on Twitter, and I'm on the Discord a lot. So, I'm usually in the Tyler I Am Discord. So, um, I love all sports. For this one, I've always loved wrestling. I've kind of fallen off a little bit, but I poke my head in every once in a while. But I've always, all the greats. I loved them all. Back in the late '90s, mid 2000s, all of the good events, and matches. Yeah.
All right, cool. X, what about you? A little bit about yourself, where the people can find you if you want to be found, obviously.
Yeah, I can be found. I'm in this CPF chat. I can also be found on IG. I'll plug that. It's cbogues number 4, and my Twitter is cbogues. And like Kneezus, I dabbled in. Definitely was a fan of all the greats. Of course, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker. Then, as time went on, just try to pop in here and there, probably like watch a couple of the big matches, and then definitely falling off. And then pandemic hit, and I started a little bit back in. I think it was like there was some event. I think it was maybe the Royal Rumble that was like the only live sports event during the time, or maybe it was SummerSlam or something like that. And sort of just hop back in, and so now I'll do like YouTube binges. Not as locked in, but I try to be.
Yeah, I think it was around. So it was like it was from like March until baseball started back up in like June. It was wrestling was like the only live entertainment.
Yeah,
so it was. So you had WrestleMania, which I definitely think they wish they had done, and I don't think they could have done it, but like the Thunderdome era of shows, I think they would have, if they were able to and had the vision for it. I think they would much rather have done did a Thunderdome show versus an empty, gym that they basically work out their trainees in. But yeah, no, that was a wild time, and I think a lot of people, in my that I've talked that's when I got everybody in the Cord back into it, watching it. I think what I say is like TLC of last year, so it's almost been like a full year of like showing some of the events in the Discord for like live watch-alongs with everybody. And it's been a lot of fun, and that's kind of how this became a thing, because everybody's like, well, what happened about this? And it's like, oh yeah, no, there was a time where Triple H did in fact tell Booker T that people like Booker T did not win championships. Man, and look, there is sometimes where I'm just like, boy, there's a whole book of just things that is just like wildly offensive and just poorly ages. It was in terrible taste before and has only aged worse since. But like Booker T basically being told like, you're black, you don't win championships in the WWE. JBL chasing legal Americans across the border.
Oh man!
Yeah.
When that was a storyline that used to kill me.
Yeah.
When he's like, with all your Latino machismo, and that used to like my brain didn't really get it back then, but now it's like Jesus.
And it was funny, right? It's like you booed him because he's saying it to Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, who you love. Nowadays, I'm like booing it. I'm like, ew, boo, you're racist. Boo, boo, racism. But I mean, JBL was just a character, he was doing, he just was basically doing Trump's presidential playbook is JBL's 2004 to 2005 heel run. Is just him trying to offend as many people as possible. Like, he had his own secretary was a black man by the name of Orlando Jordan, and I'm sure he said something offensive that Orlando Jordan gave him that look of like, you're lucky you pay my bills. And then like just kind of like, you know what, I actually but then they made it to kind of where it's like, yeah, no, you know what? I Orlando Jordan agree with you, JBL. Like, yes, they are a rambunctious group, those two are. Yes. It's like, boy. Because I think it was around the time like he was also that was later. He was like feuding with like Booker T, as both heels. But yeah, like the Mexicools, like, which I told somebody, and they're like, I think you can do that. I'm like, I don't know if a white guy can properly talk about a Hispanic stereotype of three guys riding Juan Deeres.
No.
Just not John Deere's, Juan Deere's.
Juan Deere.
They made it a point. Yeah, they had Michael Cole. Vince was in his ear. God damn it, Michael! It's Juan Deere's, not John Deere's. They're Mexican, damn it.
Yeah, Vince not seeing heaven. Obviously,
he's
just,
not. He's also not seeing hell. He's
yeah.
He's just gonna be living forever. That hate and ignorance.
I could totally see Vince living like 200 years later. Like I won't be alive, but Vince certainly will be. So
it's also funny.
Vince.
Go ahead.
Vince McMahon is gonna be the first. Vince McMahon is gonna be the first to be like uploaded as like into a computer program. He's gonna live he is going to live on forever. And I've said it once, and I'll say it again. I need like a 50-part series on Vince McMahon because there's too many gifts where I need the backstory of. There's too many of his connections of like people he kicked it with, and there are legit stories and pictures of where a 10-part or a 15-part is not enough. No. You have to have like a live retelling that is at least 50 episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the one where I want to get to the level where I can call in like internet personalities and even wrestlers and be like, hey, we're just going to talk about Vince being a crazy person. Oh, hey, here's this gif of him reacting to Stacy Keibler dancing sexily on a table. Yeah, let's provide a little bit more context to this. Or like, oh, hey, here's Do-Rag Vince. Like,
Do-Rag Vince is wild.
It is hilarious, right? That he's just like, yeah, I got my hair cut, and now I'm feuding. And because a black man is a result of me being bald, I'm going to wear a do-rag. Like, no, that's not why you wear a do-rag, Vince. Like you don't. First off, you don't wear a do-rag, Vince. You specifically, you do not wear one. And you know that Vince had Vince would walk by some of the black talent, and they're just like, "Yeah, looking good, Mr. McMahon. Looking good, Vince." Like they weren't frying his ass. They absolutely because they didn't have that type of personalities back then. Like even in mid 2000, they did not have the ones that would be like, Vince, you look bad, man. Where your waves at, Vince? Where your waves? Like, just like and then like there's also him saying the N-word just loud and very obvious.
Oh yeah, boy. Absolutely. With emphasis, with extra gumption.
Yes.
And like I know they've removed it. It's no longer on the Peacock network, but you can obviously find it on YouTube. There's a lot. Like they got rid of. Thankfully, they got rid of the multiple times of blackface. In
multiple, you said
multiple. Yes, I think they actually removed the Roddy Piper blackface from WrestleMania 2, or the 2 or 3. I forget when it was. Basically, the story goes: Roddy Piper, in an effort to add to his match with, I believe it was Bad News Brown, he painted his face half black, but he was given a solution that would scrub this stuff would not come off with like water, sweat. It had to be like scrubbed off with like a very specific thing. Well, while he's wrestling the match, boys being the boys, dumped out his stuff and just put water in it. So he then he was trying to scrub it off and it wouldn't come off. So he drove back and like the next like couple days of his life had his face half blackface basically.
Jesus.
Yeah.
God.
I feel like that's the first instance of it, but that might be the first since they went national. I'm sure there was other stuff, but you had DX pretending to be the Nation of Domination and literally every member doing some variety of blackface except Jason Sensation, who was not even a wrestler.
You know what? I do remember that. I was looking. I did a brief rewatch, 99, and I remember. The clips are on YouTube, but I didn't see it on any of the episodes.
No, they got rid of it. Basically, Triple H is The Rock, so he's got like a darker skin. It just looks like a darker tan. Billy Gunn is Godfather. Road Dogg is D'Lo, and X-Pac is Mark Henry. And X-Pac went the full bore. He went, his face was black. Whereas everybody else is like kind of half-assing it, like they're not going too hard with the marker or with the thing, and like they do the thing where like people talk about it, like Mark Henry's like, yeah, I didn't take offense to it, like that's comedy, it's entertainment, it's that, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, you're making millions of dollars, like, but you also are boiled down to being a fat black man, like it's. And it's not played for like they're bad people. They're the good guys in this story. Like Jesus Christ. And then there's also the what preempted that. I think like a week or two before that was DX. Or no, a year before it. Sorry, DX breaks into the Nation's locker room and frames the Hart Foundation for basically like hate speech. Like light hate speech, basically like you don't belong here, like KFC, like like shit like that. Like they were it was like I said, light hate speech, which is just a wild sentence to say, but they basically went as far without us saying like die and shit like that, and it's just like, and then Bret Hart comes out, he goes, whoa, I love black people. Also, I'm Canadian. We recognize Martin Luther King as a hero. Like, the hero that he is. Like, the Americans are clearly the ones who don't, because look at them. They got him killed and shit like that. And it's like, wow. Which is always good, because Farouk's heel turn in like the mid-90s is now a face turn in 2021. Because he's just like, you don't push a black man, Vince McMahon. It's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm an announcer. But yeah, that's all that. What we're here to talk about today has nothing to do with any of the shit we're talking about right now. I mean, it kind of does involve Vince McMahon. So, my question to you, to both of you, since you guys were both fans slightly around this time, or falling out of fandom, do you guys remember Jonathan Coachman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Do you guys ever remember him getting in the ring?
No.
I feel like I have a faint memory of him wrestling at one point, but yeah, I can't. There's no particular matches that come to mind or any surprise ones.
Okay, because there is a time period where he is kind of this heel announcer who also gets really chatty for somebody who is not an actual competitor, and he bites off more than he can chew. Well, one time that we're gonna watch here, is one of those times. However, he has backup. Now, my other question before we get into this: have either of you been a part of a cheer team or a spirit team?
I have not.
Okay, all right. Neither have I. So that makes three of us who have never been cheerleaders or members of a spirit team, which is good. Like all hats, like that's like I don't have that type of athleticism. That's some. I beat my head into another person's helmet for 4.5 years, so that was enough athleticism for me. I cannot imagine doing cartwheels and handsprings and I don't know what vaults, is that what it is? No.
Backflips.
Somersaults. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. No. Okay.
All the crazy shit. Yeah.
Either of you ever thought about like what it would be like to be able to do that type of shit?
I can do a backflip. I don't think I'll try to do anything more than that. And in fact, I might not even try to do a backflip right now.
Nah, not at all.
He's like, nope.
it's always been cool to me, like just the coordination. But yeah, no, not me.
Yeah, no, I like, again, it's one of those ones like, man, it would be cool. It would be cool. But no. Also, at the same time, if I don't get over enough, I'm snapping my neck. Like,
Right.
I got too much
Also,
weight.
a huge issue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got too much weight below my neck that if I don't get over enough, I'm going to snap my neck. So, that looks like Darren Drozdoff. But yeah, so I asked this, and maybe there's some context clues here that you, one of you or both of you have been able to put together. Today's topic is the Spirit Squad. Does that ring any bells to either of you?
No.
No.
Oh, this is good. Okay, so in 2006, a 5-man group by the name of the Spirit Squad debuted. Their names were Nikki, Mikey, Kenny, Johnny, and Mitch. And they are the Spirit Squad. They are 5 male cheerleaders who naturally were heels. They were the bad guys because, well, what do people hate more than cheerleaders? Male cheerleaders. Again, it's just one of those things that it kind of plays into some underlying issues with the demographic of professional wrestling at the time. And basically, but it was done into a point where at one point, these were 5 of the most hated individuals in WWE, and they had like a year run. And that's it. But man, was it a year run? So we're going to watch from the January 23rd episode of 2006 of Monday Night Raw. We're going to watch the debut of the Spirit Squad. Now, mind you, an act debuting the week before the Royal Rumble is unheard of in most times. Like, they don't. This is prime WrestleMania season, and if they don't got a plan for you or they don't think you're worthy of being up there, they're not calling you up at any point for the next 3 months. So them getting called up was kind of a big deal. And then we're also going to watch their last big match, which was at Survivor Series of 2006 against Team WWE Legends, which is Ric Flair, Ron Simmons, Dusty Rhodes, and Sergeant Slaughter. So that's what we're going to watch here on the Dork Side of the Ring.
Sounds good.
It's going to be some good stuff. We'll be right back here on the Dork Side of the Ring. Hey there, Daddy. This is me. Me, I can dream Dusty Rhodes. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Grumm season. Right now, you're listening to this. Either you're in the midst of the Grumm season. The 23 days of Grumm is over on twitch.tv/tgrum or grum.tv. That's right, baby. You can see me sometimes from time to time, old Dusty Rhodes, hanging out, having a good time. It is the gift that keeps on giving, a celebration of community, friendship, and no holiday extra baggage bullshit, baby. Let me tell you something. It is a lot of fun. You go there, we got open house week in a couple weeks. That's when Grumm gonna be playing them games that you as a viewer, as a watcher can interact with in the chat. He's gonna be playing with that Batman Arkham Knight. He's gonna watch some movies. I think he's gonna watch some How the Grinch Stole Christmas, maybe Santa Claus 2, Mrs. Claus, maybe a little bit of Klaus himself or the Netflix one. He's gonna watch that. We also gonna have some caroling. Do you not know what stream caroling is, baby? Stream caroling is an act in which Grumm gets his community together. They get together in this Discord. You go to join.grum.tv. You can join that Discord, baby. You go there, you listen, you have a good time, you join in, and you go from community to community, spreading the holiday joy, gifting subs, money, and everything, supporting other creative endeavors in the holiday season, making sure that December is a good month for them. That's right. I need to take a second to catch my breath there because I am Dusty Rhodes and I am just talking, baby. But let me tell you something. You got the Grumm seasonal sub rumble on December 22nd, baby. You go there. You support Grumm via Patreon, $5 or more, or you give the gift on Twitch. Don't do that. We're not even gonna talk about that. Don't even sub on Twitch. We gonna get rid of that. You get that on December 22nd. December 23rd is a 12-hour original seasonal hangout stream, baby, where you can hang out and celebrate the year's amazing, most fun holiday. Grummeth. It's the 23rd day of Grummeth starting this week, baby. Listen. I'm the American Dream Death Road telling you. Come here. Come through. Grumm.tv. We're back here on the Dork side of the ring. We just watched the debut and the last big match of the Spirit Squad. I decided that over them winning the tag titles because the tag titles was a little bit shorter, and also they were still fresh and kind of newer. They didn't have their whole shtick down yet. But first thoughts, Kneezus.
They had guy cheerleaders as wrestlers. Like it just. I really it just really just confounding. Like I don't know really what to say. Like they all kind of look the same. Like they fought a bunch of old guys, like old legends, but like very confusing on why this was pushed over anything else, literally. Any other idea, baby, but this was the one. Like, it's very confusing. That's really it.
Yeah. No, they like that. That's the thing is like the. Oh boy. Here, X. Before we get into it, what about you? What were your impressions, first and seconds and whatnots of the Spirit Squad?
Couple things. Just based off what I just watched, I hope for the rest of my time here on this planet that I never have to see Jerry the King Lawler's nipples again. I'd be 100% okay if I don't.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And yeah, second, to harp on Kneezus's point, it's kind of crazy that Vince McMahon would rather this than to have women mainline the show, a minority champion. He wants guys. He wants a 5-man Spirit Squad tied to his name as his number one heel. It's like, do I want a women's tag team? No, a women mainlining, headlining the WrestleMania? Heavens no. A 5-man Spirit Squad rocking Adidas jumpsuits, wearing a headband and some sorry ass kicks. I want that. Tie that like with me 24/7. That's what I want for the year. What was that? 2006.
What were those weak ass shoes? Those look like K-Swiss.
I didn't even know. Those weren't even.
They were Brooklyn Knights. They were Brooklyn Knights. That's what they were. BK Knights. They just had to paint over the light up part so that it wouldn't light up. That's
right.
Those
2006 is a weird year. I think 2006, if I remember correctly. So it's the first year. It's the year that Eddie Guerrero is inducted in the Hall of Fame. Also inducted the very same night, Bret Hart, for the first time making a WWE appearance inside of a WWE event since the Montreal Screwjob. He did not want to go to WrestleMania and be honored there because he felt it would be it should have belonged to Eddie Guerrero. That the recognition because what they were going to do is they were going to make Bret Hart be that guy that comes out last and gets the big round of basically the headliner, and he felt that it should have been Eddie. And to avoid any of that, he just decided not to be a part of it. After the induction the night before, also that year you had Booker T win the King of the Ring and become King Booker. Thus, his wife would become Queen Charmel, and King Booker might be the greatest King of the Ring of all time. And Xavier Woods got to really try real hard because King Booker was something. He just played it up so much. He's like, yes, I'm going to speak with a bad British accent. I'm now going to talk to everybody as if they're peasants. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so good. And at the end of the year, John Cena challenges Kevin Federline to a match on the first Monday Night Raw of 2007.
Wait, the Kevin Federline?
Mm-hmm. Future Dorks. Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. A month before the Survivor Series match we just watched at Cyber Sunday, it is a championship triple threat between the Big Show and John Cena and King Booker, with the fans picking whose title would be on the line. Booker T's what ends up. Everybody voted for Booker T to have to defend his World Heavyweight Championship against the other two. He ends up winning because Kevin Federline gets involved and costs John Cena the match. Which then Kevin Federline basically like shit talks him, ducks him for a little bit, and then they set up a match for the first Monday Night Raw of 2007, and that was the main event of it. That's the Future Dorkside stuff. But also, that's the same night that Boise State beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. That match happened.
Wow.
The reason I know that is Jim Ross asked to have that Monday night off. He had asked 2 weeks. He had asked. He said, Vince, I know I don't ask for it often, but it's Monday. My Sooners are in the Fiesta Bowl. It's a big deal. Can I work it? And he goes, sorry, JR. Need you to call that Federline match.
That is sick.
So that's why, of all the things that Vince McMahon has done, that might be one of his redeeming things, is saving Jim Ross from having to watch the Statue of Liberty be what ends the Sooners. I don't think they were undefeated, but they were one loss. They would have been like, yeah, we had a rightful. They did not have a claim to the throne after losing to Boise State. And then the dude proposed to his girlfriend after, that's
sure did.
That's king shit. You can't Teflon. I hope they're still married, because if not, that's rough.
I hope they're doing well. And I think if Jim Ross went to that game, he's no longer with us right now.
For sure.
Oh, jeez.
That last second before OT.
Oh yeah,
Jim Ross died on the spot.
See, if it was anything but could you imagine he's kind of in front of some fans that aren't Oklahoma fans, but they're also not Boise State fans probably don't talk shit. I don't think they're giving JR that shit, but I do think a couple frat boys would be like, by God, JR, the Broncos have done it. By God, good God Almighty, they are broken in. Their spirits are broken in half, JR. Just fucking reaming it into him, from the fucking stands. I would not let Jim Ross have peace if I was a Boise State fan and he was anywhere in my eyesight. The whole time I'd be giving him shit. I maybe preface it at the beginning, and I'd be like, JR, this is all competitiveness, I love you, but you're the enemy tonight, because he would respect that. But then I would just fucking ether him the whole fucking night. And a respectful, some people be like, oh, what's wrong with what's wrong, because there are dickheads in the world that continually tell him, why don't you smile more often? It's the guy had, multiple bouts of Bell palsy, but... I'd just be giving him shit the whole time. Just by God, JR, you see him run?
There would be a dark side. There would be a dark side of the ring episode of Vince McMahon saying, yeah, I gave Jim Ross a night off and I never heard from him again. And yet to be seen. And that was it. That's the last time I heard from him.
That's how it ends.
That's how it is.
That's how it ends. Vince going, if I could do it all over again, I sent a camera crew to record him. Because you know that's what Vince would say. He wouldn't say I wouldn't send him there. I would just record his reaction. It's so, like it's so fucked that like he's like no you have like just back we're going just a step back so fucked he's like no you can't have off I need you to call this big main event match involving Kevin fucking Federline.
Kevin Federline, like that's such a 2007 ass thing to do. Like it just,
but
like,
it was
just a kid now doesn't even know those two words together. Like, it doesn't compute unless if you're at least 24 and over.
And like, I need and when I do Dork Side, I need people who are not that old. I need young blood so that I can sit here and explain to them why Kevin Federline was such a big deal.
It's crazy, man.
Because I'm not sure if I can. I don't. I lived through it. I still don't understand why Kevin Federline enchanted America for 18 months. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I had to do a quick Google search to remember who he was and what other celebrity he was tied to.
See,
I didn't have to.
Like,
just remembered, like it was still stuck in my brain that I remembered who he was.
Yeah, no, once you like it's one of those names that like yeah, you might not remember why he was important, but you remember that he was important, and the fact that you remember it, you already know it's not a good reason.
You're right.
I'm not if you don't know who Kevin Federline is, I'm not telling you how to spell his name. I'm not telling you to Google him. I'm telling you to wait for the future episode of Dork Side of the Ring where we talk about Kevin Federline versus John fucking Cena. I can't even make it through the full sentence. That's like Milli Vanilli versus Hulk Hogan. Like that's it. That's what it equates to in terms of professional wrestling and pop culture. Because I don't think there's a better comparison for like 15 minutes of fame than Milli fucking Vanilli in like the late 80s, early 90s. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's tough.
So those were your first impressions of the things. Yeah, so to run it down for people who did not watch along, who don't have the Peacock Network, or could not go find them, their debut on the January 23rd episode of Monday Night Raw comes when Jonathan Coachman challenges the King, Jerry the King Lawler. Well, Jerry the King Lawler challenges Coachman to a match for the final entrance spot into the Royal Rumble of that year. Winner, because Big Ben's favorite commentator, Jonathan I don't understand. Like, I mean, I get it because this is like pre Ben Roethlisberger being like in Georgia bathrooms, like. Mm-hmm. So he's still like 100% a charming dude, I guess. But I don't know where they were because Jonathan Coachman's a Chiefs fan, and I don't understand why he had a personally signed jersey the Monday after them winning the AFC Championship game. But all right, go off, King or Coach. King challenges him, and it leads to a match, which is a standard match between a old man wrestler and a non-wrestler until the Spirit Squad shows up. And your guys' I'm so glad I was recording it. Your guys' reaction of just being like, what the fuck is this? Because I don't know. Because I didn't really. I like to explain things vaguely, right? I should have asked you what you guys were expecting when I said a Spirit Squad, a team of male cheerleaders. But I don't think you guys expected what you saw.
Not at all.
No.
Excuse me.
They were matching.
Matching. They all look alike, pretty much. Like, one's a little shorter than the other four, but yeah. Just not ready for those dudes to come out like that.
Matching in Michigan State looking attire.
Yeah.
I think the exact quote was, somebody get the Spartans to come get their rejects. I think that was the line. They were doing. They were definitely nervous because they were like, yeah, oh shit, go and Coach rocks the house. And then like, well, we got it together. We're fine. Coach
that
wins.
headband still bothers me.
You know, it definitely was ill placed. Over his ears.
Was that before John Cena or after?
That was during. So John Cena, they debuted before John Cena would regain his title from Edge at the Royal Rumble. So this is post live sex celebration by like 2 weeks or maybe a week. Now I think about it. And so this is right around where like Cena started becoming like the chosen one, and the fans started kind of like getting tired of his shtick. And so like these are just like, it's just like a wild time because it's like, hey, they were doing this kind of realistic thing where like we are talking up how John Cena kind of is a polarizing figure where fans kind of like him, but then fans also kind of don't like him. But here are these 5 male cheerleaders you all can absolutely hate with every fiber of your fucking body. absolute just like, and I told you guys, so they don't debut people before WrestleMania all that often, or in the build up to WrestleMania season. The last time I can remember it current day was Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was debuted as Triple H's like henchman mercenary to take out Seth Rollins back at right before WrestleMania 33. But Samoa Joe is a well-known name in the wrestling and has some kind of mainstream, or was known to a larger audience. These 5 guys were not. They came from they came from Ohio Valley Wrestling. The most screen time any of them had was Nick Nemeth, aka Nikki, who is now Dolph Ziggler, who debuted the year before as the personal caddy for Chavo Guerrero, who at the time, and you guys are going to not believe this again, even though I told you this already, Kerwin White, who was proud to be a white man.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's still to this day, it's one of the ones where it's like, man, Vince is definitely going to hell because he's basically telling a Latin star in Chavo Guerrero to just be like, hey, be white. Wear collared shirts and golf. Like, that's what we think white people are. It's like, well, you're not wrong. That's what white people are.
It's never seeing heaven.
No. But yeah, it's just like they just debut these guys on Monday Night Raw in like the second to last segment, and as Spirit Squad for hire, where they will cheer for you. You pay them, and they will cheer for you and distract things. They have air horns. They've got like the plastic megaphones that like you scream into yourself to amplify your voice. They're just, it was a mess. I can't. Like the cheers were terrible. Low quality cheering.
Awful cheering.
And I'm bringing up their Wikipedia so I can have a little bit more of a 100% thing. So on April 3rd, the night after WrestleMania, they won the WWE, the World Tag Team Championships from Big Show and Kane, and then they were all 5 of them were that recognized as champions, so any 2 of them could defend the title. And then they were in May 1st, they were named the co-general managers of Monday Night Raw for the night, and during the night, after drawing spirit straws, they placed Kenny into a title match with John Cena. Before the match, they ordered play-by-play analysis Joey Styles into their office to instruct him how to call Kenny's upcoming win, instructing him to do it, quote, with spirit, or they would force him to call all of the following Raw episodes while wearing a female cheerleading costume. which then led to a very memorable moment where Joey Styles quits and then kind of does a work shoot promo where he's talking about how like he used to call ECW matches by himself and now he can't even, and how he wasn't good at he couldn't call WrestleMania, which is fine. JR's there, he respects JR, but he's not good enough to be calling Backlash like the next month. And then he's like, I quit. If I'm not, you don't think I'm good, I'll quit. And then he ends up coming back. I want to say in like July when they do the ECW reboot. And then it leads to them feuding with D-Generation X and D-Generation X making fun of them, saying that they're a big fan of Gamecocks, which then gets shortened to Cox. I mean, look, it's one way for them to get around saying cock because they're in South Carolina, and they're like, yeah, Vince and the Spirit Squad and Shane, big fans of the University of South Carolina. Yeah, what's their mascot? Oh, the Gamecocks. Vince a big fan of those Gamecocks. Yeah, he sure does love cocks. And it's just like one of those things like, fuck, can't get around it. Like, it's like a very smart sophomoric stuff and whatnot. But they end up, they have a handicap match that they lose at Vengeance against DX. And then they have some matches. They, as you saw, the culmination of their feud against Ric Flair and the Legends. And after that, they lose, and they disband on the November 27th episode of Raw when they were defeated in a 5-on-3 handicap match by D-Generation X and Flair. And then in a backstage segment later that night, DX placed all members into a crate stamped OVW, Louisville, Kentucky, a reference to the developmental territory from which the Spirit Squad had come. And they all just kind of like never actually made it back. Well, Dolph Ziggler did, but other than that, no one really made it big. They would eventually come back in 2016. Both Kenny and Mikey would come back as part of a feud between The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, where Dolph Ziggler was made fun of for his past, and The Miz was like, "Here are my new henchmen."
Look at you, former cheerleader.
I have two of your friends, and then basically doing the whole bitter Scottie Pippen storyline of like, you screwed us out. You left us in the dust, Nikki. And it's like, my name's Dolph now. Say it, get it. It's like I don't go by that name. Name's
Nikki.
Is there a bigger downgrade from names from going from fucking Nikki to Dolph? Because there can't be any like worse ones, right?
I mean, the only Dolph we recognize here is Young Dolph. So,
I mean, it's a good strong name then. Strong name.
Yeah.
But also counterpoint. Dolph is short for Rudolph, and Rudy Gay is actually not Rudy Gay. Rudy Gobert is actually Rudolph Gobert. So. It's tough.
Yeah, you got me there. Yeah, you got me there.
Yeah. Shout out Tyler for his last not here to argue for saying that and made me think of that. Because I was like, shit. The obvious one is the other Dolph, where the other Dolph name has only one letter in front of it. I'm not going that far.
Nah. Yeah.
Don't you bring up the H-Man. H-Man was wildin'. But no.
What a callback!
So the just like there's a lot that they did in such a short amount of time, and it's very funny to me as a wrestling fan to just watch. I don't think anybody else has had such a high in a year and not been able to see a full year. Like they debuted the 23rd of January, they were gone the 27th of November. They couldn't even make it a full 12 months.
I'm shocked they went 12, honestly. That's unbelievable. That's a whole year of them just cheering and being themselves.
They had the longest title reign in 10 years as tag team champion.
That's chaos.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't be allowed.
Understand.
So from 1996 to 1997, British Bulldog and Owen Hart held the tag team titles for 260 some odd days. The next longest in that 10-year span was by the Spirit Squad at 214.
Unbelievable.
Like,
unbelievable.
And like, they're not going to take the titles and put them on D-Generation X. They saved that for a couple years later. But at the same time, like, they're the tag champions, also in tag matches and multi-man matches against D-Generation X. Like, that's a really, like, for guys who are that young, I think Kenny is at the time is 21. I think he's the youngest member at like 21, which is a whole lot of exposure for a 21-year-old. I could even he might even have been younger at in 2006. He's 35 now, so he was 20. Yeah. Also dated Mickie James. And also that's what led to him apparently also basically getting fired, is he was dating Mickie James and did not like that Mickie James and John Cena were canoodling as adults, two consenting adults, and John Cena was like, I'll see to that. Don't worry, Kenny. I'll take care of it, pal. And then promptly basically got him fired. Had him move to a separate show, the other show, so he was away from his girlfriend.
Yo. Yeah. Damn.
Look, the wrestling business, and like, you think that's bad. Shawn Michaels used his fucking influences as the guy worse than anybody else to a historic levels. So, do you guys remember Sunny?
Sunny, no.
Sunny, okay. Sunny was at one point the most downloaded woman on the internet in 1994-95, like when you would download an image line by fucking line. People just downloaded her. She was very, very, very attractive, blonde, and very attractive. I can't say anything more about her because there's like words. The beauty of her is very confined to the 90s, and this is before like Sable. Let me see if I can find the photo of her that was downloaded so much. But she was just an incredibly hot woman, and that men like to look at, even though she was, not in front of them. And tuned to like people like would be like, I want to see Sunny. That's the picture of her. Like I said, confined to the 90s. She's very hot. She
very 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh. That
Yes.
is definitely nice.
Yes,
that's really it.
Yes.
That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. She her boyfriend was Chris Candido, who was respected because he's a really good worker, but also he's like 5'4". Like, he was a short guy. They were about the same height, the two of them. Well, Shawn Michaels fancied himself some Sunny days, and Sunny fancied her some of the Heartbreak Kid. To the point that she would go to he would have her back in his hotel room or whatever, and he would have his friend Kevin Nash stand outside the door and tell Chris Candido that Sunny is not in there, while Sunny was most definitely in there.
Game is so cold, man. Game is so cold.
Yeah. It is, and that's just Sunny. Like, he did this. Like, he had there's a story. The blanks get filled in, but he's up in he is going around. He's driving around. It's like 1996, 95, 96. He's the Intercontinental Champion, and he gets beat up. He gets jumped at a bar, and because he was talking to some guy's girl. The guy was drunk and did not like it and thought he could take on Shawn Michaels, which Shawn Michaels, not the toughest guy, but he hung out with some tough guys. So the guy jumped Shawn Michaels, and then Shawn Michaels is getting into the car, and this guy follows Shawn Michaels into the back seat of the car to fight him. And apparently British Bulldog reaches in through the window to grab the guy and fucking yanks his neck back.
What?
It's
To the point where this guy then goes to court to sue WWE, Shawn Michaels, and British Bulldog for breaking his neck. And they're like, wait. And when the details come out, they're like, no, nobody, you know what? No, they're not at all. Like, he was pressing civil charges. Nope, nothing. So Shawn Michaels, and this is when he's deep into cocaine and other drugs, and he's just not in a good place mentally. Great place physically, though, for him, I guess. But he's dirty macking to the elitist of levels, and it is getting a lot of people in trouble.
oh my god!
Imagine the balls to just basically get your coworker and bring her to your room, and then have your friend, who is much taller than your coworker's boyfriend, to basically lie, and everybody knows it's a lie.
That's crazy.
Man.
Yeah, it is. And Sunny is not one to shy about with some details. Like, she wrote a book, and she was like, yeah, no, like, we definitely, yeah, like, I felt so bad for Chris, like, we did, I did so wrong by him. I should have been honest with him. Like, here is a picture of them in the 90s, both Shawn Michaels and Sunny. Tell me those two.
Oh, heavens.
Oh.
No.
No.
Hey,
oh boy,
that's liable
sick.
for gunplay. Oh, man.
Yeah, no.
Man.
Come on.
You can't talk to your boss about that. You gotta figure out a way to. Ah, boy.
They are having a grand old time. They are having
Time.
the best of fun.
Oh man, Shawn looks out of his mind, coked up in this photo.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's gone. He is gone. She's gone, and they are both thinking about what they're going to do when they. This is apparently like a meet and greet. Like, this is a public appearance. This is like a public appearance, I think.
Hey man.
I think, I'm not sure, but yes.
That's tough. Nothing really else to say.
So this is Sunny. Sunny would talk about a lot of things. Sunny had an autobiography, though, and I'll just read the thing. Quote, listen, when we were together for almost like an entire year, hooking up and dating and traveling to Jamaica and everything like that. He didn't even know his current wife. They weren't even friends. They weren't even acquaintances. So why would this be hurtful to their marriage? This is from his past, from my past. It had nothing to do with his wife. And then, apparently, she said that he had a lipstick fetish. To which she then said, that was his fetish, and that's what I wrote about. It was kind of funny, too, because he likes to smear it all over your face. And the problem with red lipstick is that it's stained. So, like, my entire face would be stained red for the rest of the day. It was terrible. Shawn was a horn dog. Like, he instructed me to wear short skirts with no underwear on underneath, so it would be easy access. This would happen like 4 times during the day at the arena, and then back at the hotel at night. It was crazy. He was like an 18-year-old in high school. He just couldn't get enough.
Jeez.
The horniest of HBKs.
I had no idea Shawn was this just
It gets
purple. Like
this
horny.
is talking about. He very purple. He is a founding father of the Purple World Order. But at the beat off offices, you know how like play like a champion. I just have a picture of HBK, and I just dap him up, and then go about my day, dealing with the Jim Jam situations. She would later go on in this interview and story. When I was 20, I got pregnant with Chris, and of course I was 20 years old. I was in college and in the professional wrestling business. There's no way I was having a kid at 20. So I got an abortion, which a lot of young girls did. Well, since that abortion, I've never gotten pregnant, and I never used birth control because I think they messed me up inside where I can't conceive anymore, which is unfortunate. She says she was separated from Candido at the time that she was romantically and often physically entangled with Michaels. Quote, we were separated at the time. We still traveled on the road. We still shared hotel rooms at times. Not even always. A lot of times. We wouldn't even be in the same hotel room at night. But we still rode together, travel a lot, because honestly, it's nobody's business what our personal life is. I mean, people knew we were together from 17 years old, and at 23, it's none of their businesses if we're together or if we're not together. So we would fly together, ride together, sometimes share a hotel room, most of the time not. So like I said, sometimes we'd be at different hotels and fly home together. And when we get home, I'd go home, and he would go to either, those residents into the Murata with those little studio apartments or whatever. He'd go out to one of those, and he'd stay at his dad's for like a little while. We weren't even living together during that time. Essentially, things ended when he wanted Sonny. The things ended with Michaels when Sonny wanted to move in. When he wanted Sonny to move in with him, and the first diva worried that Candido would commit suicide if she left him.
Oh, everybody's toxic. Good God.
Uh-huh. He was building a new house in San Antonio. His mother and I become very close. We used to talk on the phone like every day. And his mom and I picked out the colors for the cabinets, the countertops, the tiles, the carpeting, everything for the house. I helped design his house, and right at the house was getting finished, he asked me to move in. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is where we're going to get serious now. So it came down to me thinking that, quote, okay, I can move to Texas with Shawn and either have A, a great life, or have that end really badly. And B, on the other hand, if I do move to Texas with Shawn and end it for good with Chris would probably kill himself. I mean, Chris worshipped the ground I walked on. Like, I was everything to him. So my subconscious, I couldn't just say to Chris, okay, we're totally ended. We're done forever. I'm moving in with Shawn. Because he probably would have offed himself, honest to God.
Yikes.
Like,
Oof.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels, this is all in her stuff. She said Shawn Michaels did not like that Sonny and Bret Hart were friends, or even friendly. At the time, and basically HBK used Sonny as like as a weapon to fuck with Bret Hart's like personal life, because at the time of their very vaunted professional and personal feud in '97, he talked about how Bret Hart was having some sunny days, which everybody goes, "Ooh, he's talking about, oh, he's fucking Sonny." To which he gets home, flies straight from the show. His wife is trying to call the hotel room. He's not answering because he's not there. He's flying straight back to Calgary, and he gets there and he has to basically answer to his wife, like, what did Shawn mean by sunny days? Like, are you fucking Sonny? Like, that whore, she's fucking you too. Like, and it's like, no, that's not it. Yeah, wrestling is toxic.
Man.
This is
Yeah.
Toxic might not even be like it might be light for what goes on day to day.
I don't ever want to be as down bad as Chris. So whatever that level of respecting that is, please keep that away from me. That is no.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's very. I mean, we're adult men. We've seen it before. We've had it happen to us before. Where as a young versions of ourselves, we've become infatuated with a woman who has given us an ounce of fucking attention, and especially when she becomes like, it gets compounded and magnified because she becomes the girl. Like, you are dating the girl that every guy wants to be with, every like, girls want to be, guys want to be with, like, that's her, and she is yours, and you have a self-conscious thing already because you're 5'4". Like,
awful.
Like God handed you the worst gave you the worst genetics when it comes to height, but the best luck when it comes to outkicking your coverage. Like,
like imagine like your legs are dangling, off a stool, as an adult. And you got like, what was it, Kevin Nash tapping you on the head saying like, "Yeah, it happened, Chief." No, that's
he's calling you Junior and shit.
Like,
nah, it's
Kevin
fucked
Nash
up.
lifts you up by like your under your arms and twirls you around like. I'm looking for Sonny Kev.
Put me down, Kev. It's not funny. Put me down. Put me down, Kev. Kev's going, "Hey, little guy, it's all right there. Hey, it'll be okay, pal. You want to go get some drinks?" Like, it's like, I don't know. I'm gonna look to see if Kevin Nash has ever talked about this, but like, it's a weird spot to put. Like, he's used to, like, he was also kind of used to being his like bodyguard because of the heat that he had. But I don't think it has anything. There's nothing I can't find on it. But like, man, to basically be watching the door while your buddy is fucking somebody else, like, and sure, they're separated, but like, there's part of you that is going like, she should just end it. Like, she shouldn't play him along. Like, she's stringing him along. This is kind of fucked. Like,
yo, yeah.
Like, and she's 23, and I think Shawn Michaels at this point is like 32. Like, how old is he right now? I think he's like 50 something. So he is 56, 65. So what is that? 40? Not 41. No, 30. What's that? 30. He's 31. So he's like 8 years her senior at this point. Like, that's it's a little weird. A little weird.
Just a little bit.
Just slightly.
And like, I mean, apparently he had the libido of an 18-year-old. So, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what cocaine will do to you.
Just horned up beyond, like, just...
How fucking weird did that house have to be after she was like, "No, I can't move in with you," after she did everything? That only could have hurt him more and put him down more, Shawn down more in a hole where he's just like looking at everything going, she picked that countertop. I was going to take her cheeks and spread them across that countertop so much too. Like, God damn it, man. She might be embellishing a little bit, and he doesn't exactly deny it, but he chalks it up to, you know what, I was a lot back then. I was a lot to handle, and I don't remember a lot of it, and that's before I found God, and I found my wife, so it's in the past, and it's like, bud, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You remember it, though. That's a man who remembers it.
It's like, hey, I was big wildin'.
But that's just like, good lord. And like, and he got his life around, which is good. And he's just like this. He's like fun Uncle Shawn now. For professional wrestling, like, whereas like they did WWE released a lot of their developmental talent just a couple months ago. And a lot of them were like, there was a couple that were like, wow, I can't believe they're getting cut. But one of the big ones was Jonah Rock, who was in NXT as Bronson Reed. And he texted, immediately, the first person to text him when the news hit, or when he found out, was Shawn. And Shawn was like, go prove him that this was a mistake. And don't ever let them live him down. Like, and then he's that kind of guy who's like, he's still the guy that was on coke binges and still, vindictive and petty and having a short, like, how, like, the other thing is, Chris Candido was shorter than Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels is like 5'10", 5'11". Like this feels like targeting. This is call 15. This is a 15-yard penalty. This is targeting. He said that short motherfucker got hurt. She mine now. No sir.
No more.
Okay, I'm out here walking around holeless. Nope. Because I'm too short.
Not gonna lie, having, if you're decorating a house, with a lady and then she decides like she doesn't want to move in, that's enough for a villain origin story right there. Like
For sure.
that alone could have gone a multitude
Yeah.
of ways.
That's a minimum in arson. Like at minimum. Like, or or going to jail for insurance fraud. Like you're not at all.
That is, yeah.
I'm glad this turned out relatively okay. Like, still really just levels of Dirty Mac that just unbelievable. But man, Shawn was out here. He really was.
He was like he's in one of those weird areas because I look at a lot of wrestling now. I look at it as entertaining, and then the second time I look at it, I'm like, all right, can I make a dork side out of this? Or the thing I just watched, can I do a dork side about it? And like 1993 to 97, Shawn is not dork side, but he's like, and I don't think he's I don't think he's willing to talk about it, and that's that's fair to him. Like if he doesn't want to relive a really dark time in his life, he doesn't have to for content reasons. If he feels that he's done enough to get closure on that or whatever, the people affected by him don't ask for or aren't seeking closure, then there's no reason to go over it. But there's some stories about him, and there is a wild career window for a guy to go from like, hey man, he's a pretty good hand, to basically being the greatest wrestler to walking on the earth. And like in 4 years lose it all. Like it is it's an interesting thing of like the quickness of how wrestling turnover is. Like the very few exceptions of people being on top for so long, your Hogans, your John Cena's, your Flairs, your Dustys, that's about it. Everybody else has a 4 to 5 year window, and then that's it. Like even Bret Hart, like he had like 92 to 97. That's when he's at his fucking peak, and he probably got shorted a couple of years because of Goldberg kicking his head in. But like everybody else only has so many years. Stone Cold's peak was 96 to 2001. Like
that one, I know he had the. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
I
go
know
ahead.
he had the back injury, but looking back, that's crazy. He was only like stone cold for like 5 years, man. Like,
yeah,
but he's so influential still to this day. Like it felt like he was like the best wrestler for 10 years, but he was.
I mean, The Rock's even shorter.
Yeah,
The Rock is 99 to 2002.
That's crazy because it feels so much longer than that.
Like his WWE career is from November 96 to April of 2003, and he's got a couple movies shoots where he misses a couple months at a time. He doesn't become The Rock until like 1998. He doesn't become main event level The Rock until late 99. So, or early 99. So, like, there's this weird, like, WrestleMania 14 to WrestleMania 18 is his peak. And he misses some of 2001 because he's shooting a part in the Scorpion King. And then 2002, he's wrestling until the summer, and then he doesn't come back until, like, 2003, like, early 2003. So, it's wild that his absolute peak is 3 years, but he reached such a peak in such a short amount of time that he's like the exception to the rule. John Cena had 15 years, really. Not even 2004. I'd say 2004 to 2017, really, where he's like the guy. It's
That's
fucking
wild.
yeah, it's just fucking wild. Where it's just like, wow, like Hogan was from '83 until 2000.
That was switching promotions like in
Mm-hmm.
between all
Yeah,
that. So yeah,
yeah.
that's
And
nuts. Yeah.
you could even say he had two peaks where
Right.
where he had
Hollywood.
83 to like 91, and then 96 until 96 until 2000. Because even like I've been watching like 2000s WCW, and he's still like the guy where people are like, that's fucking Hulk Hogan, even though he's like wrestling fucking Jeff Jarrett and Billy Kidman. But yeah, like Shawn Michaels, like I would love a Last Dance style part, like 10-parter on Shawn Michaels' is like late, like mid career, because then he went and wrestled from 2002 until 2010. So he basically wrestled 2 8-year periods, and that 2002 to 2010, he didn't miss.
Oh.
Like that's like Jordan's second run. But his first run is when it's very interesting, because everything after is he's like, oh yeah, he's very good at wrestling and he loves God. Like that's about it.
That was probably the cooler one to me because that was the one we grew up on. Like I didn't really catch any of the '90s ones, so it was like this cool dude. Like I was like, I didn't even know he was like a born again Christian until like recently. Like, and he's doing all like the sexy dances and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. Wait, Shawn Michaels is a born again Christian?
Oh, hardcore! Like, so
I had no idea.
There is, I don't know if it's on the Peacock Network, but they did I want to say around 2010, when Bret Hart came back in full to WWE. Him and Shawn Michaels got to bury the hatchet. Live, they did it like before it, but live on TV they like buried the hatchet in front of people. They shook hands. They forgave each other. Like Shawn said, "I'm sorry." Bret said, "I'm sorry." Like they moved past that, and they did an interview. They did a DVD special highlighting their rivalry, and basically tying it from the very start when they were wrestling tag teams as the Rockers versus the Hart Foundation, and how every like Bret was there first, but every step that Bret took, Shawn took. But then they got to a point where they were neck and neck, where Shawn caught up to him, and Bret could not handle that. But also, he just didn't handle it because Shawn Michaels was living a lie, basically. Whereas HBK or Bret Hart's like, yeah, nah, I am who I say I am. Like, I'm a role model to children, and I'm a damn good wrestler. And then, like, you have Shawn Michaels, who's like, yeah, he's saying he's a good role model, but like, if these parents knew what he was doing, off camera, they would be disgusted. So like, there was that's where like there's a lot of professional animosity. But Shawn, being in the place that he did, took it personally. He's like, he's judging my lifestyle. And Bret has talked about, he's like, I wasn't judging his lifestyle. I was judging his lifestyle for the position he was in, based on how I feel the business should be. And they talk about, like, Shawn's like, yeah, I was in a bad place he goes 98, 99. I'm sitting on because he had a back injury as well that he never really got looked at for a while because he was so fucking coked up that it wasn't an issue really.
Oh man.
But he met his wife in like 98, 99, and like 90 or 2000, basically all of his friends had basically just cut him off. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall cut him off. And if Scott Hall cuts you off, knowing his history, then it's pretty bad. But even like Triple H was the last to go, and like I think the story is like Triple H called Kevin Nash in tears, going, "Kev, I want to." Shawn doesn't want to help himself, and Kev's like, Hunter, you gotta hey man, you gotta live your life. Like, he wants to kill himself, you let him kill himself. And it's like, good lord, right? Like it's like, but Kevin Nash got the longest view in the room at all times, and it's basically like, he ain't gonna do it though. Like, he'll get this, and then basically, his wife kind of hit him with an ultimatum. They got counseling. He found he found Christ. But like, he's not like super like Bible thumping, born again. Like I think he's one of the types where he's like, this helped me. It ain't gonna help you if it doesn't help you. Like it's not a cure all. So like he's got that he's got perspective to it, which is good. But yeah, no, he's born again. And that's why he's alive and whatnot. So it's good. But I don't know. Early DX talking about how he did not get a blowjob from that woman, but they were up all night long making fun of the Clinton press conference. There's that 97 D-Generation X was something else, man. They're getting FCC and USA's telling them to chill the fuck out, and they're like, nah, we're not going to, because we're gonna make you money.
God, they did.
But yeah. So the Spirit Squad, how this all relates to Spirit Squad, is that the Spirit Squad spent most of their time on the main roster in the year of 2006, being the antagonist to Shawn Michaels, born again Shawn Michaels, in his feud against the McMahons, which also included a match against God, or he was tagging with God. Yeah, I got nothing. Like the Spirit Squad is one of those ones where I knew that the conversation would veer, but I didn't think we would be talking about how Sunny was getting her cheek clapped by Shawn Michaels regularly.
Just dirty Mac.
That is elite dirty macking.
It's one of the ones where I'm like, I gotta find somewhere that has like the full story and just send it to Tyler so he can read it. Because there's so much in it, man. She's toxic and messy.
A dangerous combo.
She's also been in jail.
Oh man.
Yes. Sonny's had some issues, like whew.
I mean,
go
ahead. Shawn Michaels, that is a elite example of a man. When you hear those lyrics about, whether it's any music artist talking about going to take your lady, Shawn Michaels is living those raps, man.
Yeah,
living those raps.
Wait, lie.
He's about it.
Now I kind of get the persona on like the sexy boy. Like now it makes perfect sense now. It's like he was out here.
Mixy as hell.
But
just in his lap, just coked
up, chilling. Yeah, no.
That's a Wednesday afternoon. They are having a ball.
Just having a good, like insane. Do you want me to run down the rap sheet of one Tammy Lynn Sitch, aka
Lay it on us. Absolutely.
In 2012, Sitch was arrested 5 times in a 4-week span for disorderly conduct, third-degree burglary, 3 counts of violating a protective order. Damn. She was arrested a 6th time in 2013 for also for violating a protective order. She served 144 days in jail and released in May of 2013. Throughout May and June of 2015, Sitch was pulled over and arrested in Pennsylvania 3 times for DUIs. Sitch pled guilty to all 3 of the main charges, with lesser charges being dropped. During a 2016 interview, she had said she agreed to plead guilty because she was blackout drunk during the arrest and did not remember them, stating that it was the worst relapse of her life. In January 2016, she pled guilty to driving while under suspension. She served 90 days in jail on August 18th, but a judge sentenced her to 90 days in jail, but counted her 97 days in rehab as time served. September 12th of 2016, she was rushed to a hospital from her home where alcohol was found. This led to charges for violating parole stemming from 3 DUI cases in 2015. She remained in jail on these charges through an arrangement in 2017, fined $1,496 for the remaining charges, and released in February of 2017. While on probation, she was arrested in New Jersey for 2 DUIs on January 23rd and February 2nd of 2018. Was also charged with fleeing the scene of an accident in relation to the February 2nd arrest. After failing to appear in court for either case. She was arrested on February 27th, 2018 for 2 fugitives from justice charges and 6 counts of contempt of court and was placed in the Monmouth County Correctional Institution. While she was processed, it was discovered she was a fugitive from justice due to her parole in Carbon County Correctional Facility in Pennsylvania having been revoked in 2017. She was subsequently extradited to Pennsylvania on March 23rd, remained at Carbon County Correctional Facility in Nusquehoin until she was paroled in October of 2018. Still going here. A bench warrant was issued for Sitch in Pennsylvania on February 15th, 2019, and the Carbon County Probation Department filed a motion to revoke her parole as a result of her failure to continue her payment plan with Pennsylvania to cover the state's legal costs for her case. She was pulled over in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, where the police had arrested her for driving while intoxicated and other driving offenses. Seaside Heights released her into the custody of the Holmdel Police Department after it was discovered that she still had outstanding worth in both Holmdel, New Jersey for $1,500 and Knowlton Township, New Jersey for $1,000. She was charged with the contempt of court, disobedience, and resisting of court command on both warrants. March 20th, she was extradited to Monmouth County back to Carbon County Correctional to address her Pennsylvania charges. After a year in prison, she was released on February 25th, 2022. Sitch was also arrested on July 13th, 2020 for allegedly eluding a police officer, contempt, violation of domestic violence, restraining order, and operating a motor vehicle during a second license suspension. She was held at the Monmouth County Correctional and was released June 9th, 2021 due to a court order.
I don't know if you're done or not.
No, I am done. But in 2016, she released a pornographic film with Vivid Entertainment called Sunny Side Up, In Through the Back Door.
Oh, my dear God.
Yeah. Yeah.
She a damn criminal, is what you're saying.
Like substance addiction is a fucking. It is nothing to wish on anybody. And if you are having those issues, please seek help. Like I know we're like kind of laughing at it, and that might not be the right thing. It's just there's a lot there going on for her, and she is like.
I hope she gets the help that she needs. Yeah, that's all you can say.
A lot of arrests. A lot of arrests.
I'm not sure if she wants help, but she's doing all that.
She's the one that's in the violation of a domestic restraining order. Like, that's the thing is boy, messy.
It's tough.
Messy.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, for sure. That is.
But as we wrap up here, because we're up on about 2 hours. 2 hours here. First, thank you guys for coming on to talk about Spirit Squad and HBK's being a horn dog, and the effects of substance abuse, which is again, get some help if you please, if that is or somebody who is it's never fun.
Absolutely.
But the Spirit Squad final takeaways from either the debut that we saw or the Survivor Series match featuring the Legends and the Spirit Squad. We'll start with UX. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at the timing. To have that co-signed over, as Kneezus said, everything else, like literally any possible innovation, maybe, give someone else a push, give the ladies a push. They went with the Spirit Squad and literally attached it to the head of the company. I am amazed.
Yeah. And a year from now, Vince would be saying the N-word and wearing do-rags. Actually,
2006.
Yeah. Actually, this might have. Hold on. Was that hold on? When was it that did Vince say the N-word? And was that Survivor Series? 2000? Oh, it's 2003. No, hold on. Survivor Series N-word. If you just do the N-word. When was it? Was it in 2000? Oh, it was 2005. Okay, so it was a year before. Okay. I was going to be like, wow, that night was a wild night for Vince McMahon. He's lost his absolute shit. But no.
Lost his goddamn mind.
No. So sandwich between saying the N-word at Survivor Series 2005 and wearing do-rags in the summer of 2007 was his feud with God and with having 5 male cheerleaders as his henchmen. But yeah. Kneezus, what about you? Final takeaways from the Spirit Squad.
Just hope to never see those Adidas track pants again. Just hideous. The headbands too, which was a very 2006 ass thing to wear. Yeah, just like we've been saying, just anything else, literally. And he decided on that. Like, male cheerleaders can kind of wrestle. Like, it just, like, that just, they were cheering, literally. I can't get over that. Like, but yeah, that's really it. Just any other storyline, and Vince chose that.
If I had more time, we would have watched more Spirit Squad cheering. Because it goes on for many months before they actually have a wrestling match where they just cheer. They show up and they cheer. Some of them are funny. Some of them are just like standard cheering, like, UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. But nothing to the way of
Wow.
is that not another teen movie where they do the Bring It On spoof, where they're like, yeah, we didn't steal your cheer routine. We're black, we're proud, we got it going loud. But yeah, no, that's it just wild in hindsight. As a wrestling fan, I was 14 watching pro wrestling. I couldn't stand them. I hated them. I thought Kenny was going to be great. I thought Nikki could bump, and I was 50% right. Nikki's still wrestling, 15 years later. Good for him. Good old Dolph Ziggler. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Kneezus, once more, tell the people where they can find you, what you got going on, any causes that you know of that are close to home or you would like to bring some awareness to.
Just at Jordan, Mr. Jordan Brewer on Twitter. I'm on IG. Don't use it a lot. At Bruiser Brewer, Bruiser_Brewer. Yeah, just probably getting close to the holidays, so maybe just help out your local food bank or stuff like that. It's gonna get really, really, really tough out and colder. Really tough out there. So yeah. Any way you could help, the less fortunate, for sure.
We are pro food sovereignty here on the Dork side of the ring.
Absolutely.
X, what about you? Places people can find you, what you got going on, things you would like to bring awareness to or, shout out.
Sure. You can, of course, find me, CPF Chat. I'll plug my IG again. It's cbogues4, and then I'm on Twitter. I don't use it a lot, though. It's at cbogues. And, I think, because of the holidays, it's getting colder, maybe donate an extra pair of socks if you can. If you go to a toy store or anything, you buy little gifts, maybe just get, if you can, if you have the funds to get an extra $10 toy and donate to a Boys and Girls Club or a shelter, do that. Just try to get someone, someone out there just a little bit of joy.
That's right. Love it. Love to see it. This is the one thing I'm very happy to have, like, this platform to be like, hey, like, what we got going on that we can, as a group here, but even just a couple of people, no. So this is always good. Shout out the good Mr. Feeney for the good work that he's doing with with his organizations, and just multitudes of people in the CPF chat who are doing it, and on Twitch. I know a lot of people are doing are raising money for charities and food drives. Always good to do that. And it is it's only the beginning of the month, so if you haven't done your holiday shopping yet, be smart, be safe, and don't fight over a television. It's just a TV. You can put a IOU on the TV for on a big box. It'll work. At least I hope. We're who knows. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it. Appreciate having you guys. I look forward to having you guys on again in the future.
Yeah, appreciate you, Grumm.
Absolutely. This has been fun, man.
Hell yeah. Shawn Michaels is a crazy, wacky, history-filled wild man, as was Sonny. And the Spirit Squad was a wildly, like, it wasn't that bright of a star, but it burnt out as bright as a bright star. And that they did. They didn't even last a full calendar year. They were gone by December, debuted in January. I mean, I guess it's a calendar year, but not like a full calendar year, right? They were involved in it. Look, either way, X and Kneezus summed it up right. It was a good time, right? Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it. Go give them a follow again. Good, great, fun times. And I cannot wait to have both X and Kneezus on again with whoever I may pair them with. As you can see, I think my favorite thing from this episode was the what if about Jim Ross being able to attend the Fiesta Bowl in 2007. What would have been? Which good. I mean, it's a funny what if idea of just be giving Jim Ross shit from the side from the crowd. But yeah, that's all we got for this week. Let's see what I think. Did I tell you guys about Grumm is? The 23 Days of Grumm is happening live on Grumm.tv, otherwise known as twitch.tv/tgrumm, an annual celebration of community, friendship, and no holiday baggage. Basically, the idea is, hey, holidays suck because things have happened in your life and make you not enjoy it for what other people may. Maybe there's not the family that you want there, or the family that you do have there is not the kind of family that makes it positive. All this stuff, your friends are this or that. We don't do that. We just hang out and celebrate the people that we do have. Very, very a lot of gratuity for this. Not you don't have to tip me, but if you want to, you can. You go over to support.grumm.tv. And you can give all the gratuity you would like monthly over on the Patreon, $5, $10, $25, and dollar tiers. Just single dollars. If you want to be like a monthly, treat me like a stripper with a single dollar and stuff it into my waistband, my shirt, my pockets, shoes, wherever you want to stuff that dollar. You can stuff that dollar. On there, we actually have Roby and... Roby, Kurt, and myself are from episode 9, and then there's a little bit of actually no, I think we jumped to that the next couple episodes in order from that, from like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're gonna be there, so I think the next one is the Hog Pen match with Dan and Soapy from the Morse Code podcast. A lot of fun that one was. That'll be up on, actually that'll be, if you're listening to this on the feed, this Saturday it'll go up. I'll find some time to put that together. I don't know. It's a busy time for me, and I can't wait. I wouldn't want it any other way. I like the idea of keeping busy so that other people have things and a place where they can feel love during the holidays, because that's what everybody deserves. Everybody deserves some love, and you, my lovely listener, I love you. Thank you. Grumm is available on Grumm is available. Dorkside is available on Twitter and Instagram. You can go follow at DorksideRing on Instagram and Twitter. I am Grumm, which is also my Twitter handle. I am Grumm on both Twitter and Instagram. I think that's it. Join the Discord if you want to get updates and whatnot, because that's where I'm going to be streaming all my content soon. At the beginning of the new year, 2022, we bid adieu to Twitch. Fuck you. I don't know. I'll figure something out for rhymings. But we're going to be there. Join.grumm.tv. Support.grumm.tv for the Patreon, so you can get easy, quick access for that. I should probably throw a link in there just in case. That's all we got. Thank you guys. Next week's episode, again, like I said, the string of fun episodes and ideas. We've got OXO and Youngest. We're talking the John Cena and Kurt Angle rap battles. I thought about it was only the one. We ended up watching two of them because I mixed up the one. So that's where we're at next week. If it sounds weird, it's because my recording fucked up here. Hey, anyways, yeah, next week, OXO and Youngest from This Is Cash, a movie podcast, not a music podcast. Youngest is a co-host of Running Back the Hits with Lee, who has also been on. Good episodes all around, a lot of fun. I think the most fun that we're going to have in the next coming months is over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tgrumm. I'm going to hammer this a lot. We're over there having a lot of fun, providing a place of love, a place of friendship and community during a tough time for a good number of people. Holidays are not always what they're supposed to be, which is loving, cheerful, and happy. But I have so much energy and love for this time of year that I want to give that to others, and I want others to feel it. So come by. We're going to be live quite often. I should probably make like a calendar of some kind so people can see it, or maybe a video. I'll probably do that. There might be the video might be in the link of this description. It might not. But check out my Twitter at @IamGrumm. Dorkside will probably retweet it as well. The Dorkside at Dorkside Ring is the official Twitter for this podcast, and that's all I got for you guys. So without more to say, I want to get you out of here because this podcast episode is running a little bit long. I think just a little long. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out here in the Dork Side of the Ring. You are free to step out of the ring and leave me be here in the Dork Side, where I live and I breathe. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Dork Side of the Ring podcast.